Here we are, clearing the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in the state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to code, stop for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same power back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, that we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV.
Hey, what's happening, black people? Hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School, and I'm going to say welcome to drboycetv.com, the home of intelligent black people. Marcus says, huge fan, everyday listener from Cleveland, Ohio. My man, so you're going to be interested in what I have to say. This has a conversation today, which I'm going to keep short so we can get to the rest of our day. Has to do with this fight that took place between the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers the other night. You guys know I talked about this, and I told you guys I was going to follow up once I had more information, and I have some more information, some more data, and some more perspectives on this. I'll tell you what, there's a guy that I know who does Fox Sports named Jason Whitlock, and Jason and I talk on the phone every blue moon, and some things I support him on, but on this issue, I do not disagree with him, mainly because I think that there was more to this situation than meets the eye. First of all, hit the thumbs up button. Let's do our Black Power exercise. On the count of 3, everybody hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button and notification bell, and type Black Power in the chat. Let me know that you did it. 1, 2, 3, thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, type Black Power in the chat. So 1, 2, 3, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Everybody hit the thumbs up button, please. That's very important for the algorithm. And type Black Power in the chat. Let me know that you're done. Thank you very much, Ronaldo and Blessed Over and Princess McChristen, is that right? To Tabitha and Clayton and Andy and Yassine is king. I appreciate that very, very much. And feel free to shout out your city. Shout out the city that you're from, so we know what city you're from. I saw we had Cleveland in the house. Let's see, did I see any other cities in here? Yes, I see somebody's already asking me, John's already asking me, please do not talk negative about Samuel L. Jackson. In this particular case, I'm not. Not that I'm scared to talk negative. If he does something negative, I'm going to talk negative. But he didn't do anything negative today. He actually did something I thought was positive. So anyway, let me jump into this real quick. I'm going to tell you what, as I was telling you guys last night, as I was headed back, I went to go visit Dr. Claude Anderson for a while and hang out with him. And Alicia and I were in the car on the way back. And I'm going to tell you, we've been dating for about 3 years now. And one of the best things about these 3 years that we've been together is that she loves football. Like we sit there and we watch football highlights every single weekend. I don't watch the whole games. On YouTube, they actually shorten the game to about 12 minutes, which fits into my schedule because my schedule is crazy. I don't have time to really watch a 4-hour, 3.5-hour game, whatever it is. And so anyway, as I'm watching these highlights, and I keep up, so you should go check them out on YouTube if you don't have time to watch. I saw this thing with this fight with the Browns and the Steelers. So give me a yes or no if you saw the fight. Did you guys see the fight? Give me a yes or no if you saw the if you saw what happened with the Browns and the Steelers at the end of the game. So in the last 8 seconds, give me a yes or no. Okay. Kazoo says yes. G Mena yes. The Whisper Code no. Eddie Walker no. Okay, I see some no's and some yeses. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to briefly describe to you what happened. So it's at the end of the game, game's over. Browns kick the Steelers' ass. Quality win for the Browns because Browns suck. The Browns have great players, but their record is the record of a team that sucks. And so I guess they're frustrated. So one of the Browns players, comes up and hits the quarterback. I thought it was kind of unnecessary. I didn't think he needed to hit the quarterback and take him to the ground like that. But but it was just it's what happened, right? So what happens then is that the quarterback's pissed, right? So the quarterback, his name is Mason Rudolph. He starts kneeing the guy in the stomach and his testicles and hit trying to pull his helmet off, right? Like for some reason, he's trying to rip his helmet off, and I don't know what he's going to do with the helmet when he ripped it off, but he was trying to rip the guy's helmet off. So in response to this, Mason Rudolph, the white quarterback, trying to rip the player's helmet off, the player, who's a black man, basically gets up and grabs Mason Rudolph's face mask, and pulls him by his face mask, and he's like, "Oh, you want to rip people's helmets off?" Basically, that's what my interpretation is. I didn't hear him say this, but he basically was like, "You want to rip people's helmets off?" So he ripped off Mason Rudolph's helmet, and he's holding his helmet, and they start dividing the two. So one of the Steelers players is kind of pushing the guy off and stuff like that, and the Browns player, the black guy, reaches over and whops the quarterback on his head with the helmet, like hits him right in the head. And it was really a scary scene, very sad to watch, because this guy Mason Rudolph had already been knocked out cold. I don't know if you're a football fan, you know this. He had been hit earlier in the season and got hit so hard he just hit the ground like a brick because he was knocked out cold. So long story short, it kind of blows up into a scuffle. The Steelers players go off. They start kicking him, and throwing him to the ground, and then of course the Browns players come up, and it becomes a crazy brawl. So basically, here's the deal. So here's what my initial interpretation was. My initial interpretation was that the Browns player was wrong. Yeah, he's a brother, but I don't like seeing nobody get hit in the head with a helmet. Like, I just think that that's fucked up. You guys know I'm really concerned about all the brain damage being done to NFL players. That's why I tell you guys to be very careful about putting your that's why I think you should be very careful about putting your children into football early. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying that there's a lot of evidence to say that the brain damage is real. I've met former NFL players like Antoine Randall L., who was won a Super Bowl, who basically told me directly in person when we were waiting in the hallway. He said, I wouldn't even play football again if I could do it over again. And he said that publicly in the USA Today. You can actually go look that up. So you got to be really careful about that. But I'm not telling you not to do it. I just want do your own research. Don't listen to me. Do your own homework. So anyway, long story short, and that was my first reaction. I was eating breakfast and I was like, oh man, that was fucked up. He should have did that. This guy really needs to be suspended. This is crazy. Then my homeboy Etan Thomas. Etan Thomas is a former NBA player who's a very, very smart guy, and he's very much in defensive athletes, when they deserve to be defended. And I like that. And Etan shows a slow motion video of what happened before the whopping on the head with the helmet by the black guy. He shows that Mason Rudolph, the white quarterback, was trying to pull the other guy's helmet off. He was basically trying to do to him. So basically, what the black guy did to the white guy was trying to do to the black guy. He just couldn't do it. He wasn't strong enough. He couldn't make it happen. But he was getting pretty dirty himself. He was pretty much instigating and fighting and stuff like that before the guy retaliated. So, like a lot of people say, you can decide your actions, but you can't determine what the reaction is going to be, what the response is going to be. So a lot of people are making the argument that this whopping on the head with the helmet was not unprovoked. That's the point, that it wasn't unprovoked. It wasn't like he just found some random guy on the street and said, I'm going to just try to give you brain damage. He did it because he felt that he had been attacked, and a lot of people are making this argument. Now, what happened as far as punishment, the black guy got suspended for the rest of the year. Myles Garrett, the white guy, the quarterback, Mason Rudolph, got no punishment whatsoever. There's no punishment given to the white guy. So basically, it fits into it becomes a racial issue because it fits into this sort of racial stereotype of the guilty black man with the completely innocent white boy, and the white boy sitting there saying, "Oh, this is Bush League stuff. This is blah 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 blah." Now, let me tell you this. Here's what's fascinating. So I got two pieces of information for you guys. One has to do with a statement by Samuel L. Jackson, which I thought was quite fascinating. So Samuel L. Jackson actually jumped into the fray and makes a comment on Twitter about the incident. And basically he says, and he's quoting the white guy when he says this. He says, quote, "cowardly and Bush League" from the dude who started it. So he's basically saying, like, you're soapboxing and you are criticizing this other person and saying he was cowardly in Bush League when your fucking ass was the one who started the damn fight. You started that shit. And that's a good point. You started it, and Myles Garrett just ended it, right? It's like me running up and slapping Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, like slapping him in the face as hard as I can, and then me whining like a little baby when he knocks my ass into next week. You ain't gonna see me slapping Dwayne Johnson like that. If I'm gonna fight him, I'll fight him with my brain. I'll fight him some other way. I won't fight him physically because that ain't gonna work out. But maybe I can fight another way. But my point is to say that it's kind of crazy. This guy's like up here like, oh well, this is an outrage. Blah blah blah. Well, you did start the fight. So he says cowardly in Bush League from the dude that started it. Really? And did he say bitch while trying to get up? Okay, that part I didn't know much about that. 3 Steelers, 1 Brown, quarterback being aggro, I guess aggressive, played badly, thought worse. So he's basically saying you played badly, You didn't fight worth a damn. You got your ass kicked and you're mad about it. So he also says, so a quarterback forgot he was a quarterback and got jacked with his own helmet because he couldn't get the other guy's helmet off. I wonder what and who the commentator thought was barbaric. So that's Samuel Jackson. You remember, Samuel Jackson's trying to earn that meritorious manumission because for some reason white folks just love the hell out of him. And so Samuel Jackson is trying not to get in trouble with white folks, but he's basically sending a little subtle message to say, I noticed that, that he was black and that this probably would not have happened if he was white. When he says, I wonder what and who the commentator thought was barbaric. When you use terms like barbaric and he's an animal and this is an outrage, you sound like somebody from an 1845, lynching news story, who basically went out and decided to lynch a black man and take him outside and hang him from a tree and cut his balls off, right? You really sound a little bit racist right now, and you can't disconnect history from the way America views race today. I spent 5 straight hours, 7:15 to 12:15, sitting and talking with Dr. Claude Anderson, who spent the entire time, in case you're wondering, in private, he's just like he is in public. Him and Farrakhan, same way actually. I sat with both of them for hours privately, and they literally speak the exact same way in private that they do in public. The same lectures they give publicly, they give privately, except it's like one-on-one, which is quite fascinating to watch from men in their 80s, very strong, energetic black men. And one thing that was really made clear during these conversations is that you cannot disconnect what happened in the past to what's going on in America right now. You can act like it's the past and it doesn't matter, but it matters quite a bit. So Samuel Jackson makes a good point. He's like, look, you the quarterback, man. Quarterbacks ain't supposed to be out here fighting like that. Quarterbacks are supposed to be protected. Quarterbacks in a way, honestly, I don't even know if how this sounds, but honestly, quarterbacks are a little bit like women. Like women usually aren't out in getting in brawls with dudes. Like, am I right, kid? Give me a yes or no if you get what I'm saying. Like women ain't usually, growing up saying, oh, I'm gonna go punch that motherfucker in the face. Like women are not, they don't think that way. They're not sort of encouraged to do that. Give me a yes or no if you get what I'm saying, because I don't want to sound sexist, because I know women are stronger in their own way. They just have other forms of strength. They're not out here trying to go and manhandle dudes because they piss them off. But now things are changing. Right now, shit, we done got all over the place. We got the feminists convincing women that gender is a figment of your imagination. And so you got women out here really trying to act like dudes. And then y'all know how those stories end. Y'all have seen those situations where some women's run up, come on, nigga, I'm gonna punch you out. Come on, motherfucker. And then next thing you know, the man suddenly bucks up and his instincts take over. That testosterone kicks in. He backs up, does a Popeye the Sailor haymaker on her ass, and then suddenly she's like, I'm a victim. How can you hit me? You're an abuser. And the thing is, people are like, but you were acting like a dude. When you act like a dude, he gonna fight you like a dude. When you act like a lady, we're gonna treat you like a lady. That's just real. I can't even imagine a day where Alicia will run up to me like, come on, motherfucker, come on, nigga. I'm gonna punch you out, nigga. I'm gonna body slam your ass. Like she's not gonna do that, because those are games that we don't play in our relationship. And I don't think that's a game that she would ever want to play with me. Now, mind you, just for the record, guys, if a woman ever does that to you, first of all, you're not dating a woman, you're dating a dude. So unless you are, part of the LGBT community, you need to get out of that relationship, because she may have a vagina, but just know that's not a woman. That's certainly not a lady. So you need to back away slowly and take your ass down the street, right? So just to be clear about that. But the point in the matter is, when you start behaving out of that lane, you're going to get a different kind of reaction from people. So quarterbacks typically are like, kind of like the women of the football field. They're protected. They got these pussy ass laws. Excuse my French. I'm sorry. I'm cussing. I shouldn't do this. But they got these little wimpy ass laws that drive me crazy. They almost feel like racial in a way, except now all the best quarterbacks are black, so it's a good thing now. But like roughing the passer. I hate those. Anybody watch football and you think of like roughing the passer penalties are like stupid? I don't like them. It's like, let's say you throw the ball, somebody hits you, somebody taps you, roughing the passer. Well, shit, they don't got roughing the wide receiver. They don't have roughing the running back. They don't have roughing the linebacker. Everybody's getting hit on the field except the quarterback. So the quarterbacks are kind of protected. Like they open the doors for them and roll out the red carpet for them, and you know what I mean? Pay to get their hair and their nails done. So quarterbacks are usually the ones who sit in the back and get protected by bigger, stronger men. So the difference in this situation was that Mason Rudolph was like, no, I'm not a quarterback. I'm going to fight a defensive lineman and try to rip his helmet off. And what basically happened was he felt the consequences of stepping out of his lane, in my opinion. Now, Too Rich to Miss says, did you just call quarterbacks bitches? I'm not calling quarterbacks bitches. I'm just going to say that relative to the linemen who are taking hits on every single play, it ain't the same. Let's just say that it ain't the same. And no disrespect, though, because there's great quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson out of Louisville, my hometown. Bad motherfucker, bad player. But it ain't the same. Let's just not get that twisted. Anyway, please hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please do that. Please hit the thumbs up button and the notification bell. And also, if you want to support the growth of intelligent black media, please go to intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. We'd love to have you as a patron, as part of our membership group. And we would also give you lots of free stuff in exchange for your support. We will give you free training, free education, discounts on the Black Business School, discounts on products, all kinds of things in exchange. So it's not a donation, it's really a trade, and we'd love for you to be a part of the growth of this platform. So it's intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. And also, don't forget, we have a social media platform. You guys know this is black owned. It's called Black Enough. It's right here. It's a play on the word black enough. So if you're black enough, go to Black Enough, because it's a lot like Facebook, except you don't get banned for like quoting Malcolm X. So go to blackenough.com, and you guys know we believe in building our own. So we're doing that, but we could just really use your help. So please go to blackenough.com and join and hang in the conversation. So let me lay out one more point that I made that I have on this, because I make notes. I make chicken scratch notes when I talk to you. I'm not just out here running my mouth. But here's the last point I wanted to make in terms of my research on what the community is feeling. So I did a poll, and I did a poll on Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph. So I said, do you believe that Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph should be suspended at the Browns-Steelers fight? Now, I gave people four options. That one, they should both be suspended, right? Which is in contrast to what the NFL did. The NFL didn't suspend both. They suspended the black guy, not the white guy. Two, should Myles Garrett only should be suspended. And then three was, should Mason Rudolph be the only one suspended, because he did start the fight. And then option four is that neither one of them should be suspended. So before I actually read the results of the poll, I want to ask you guys, what do you think? Do you think Garrett, the black guy, he's just typed the last name in there, Garrett, Rudolph, both or neither? Garrett, Rudolph, both or neither. I'm gonna give you guys, we're gonna do Jeopardy for a minute, and I'm gonna give you guys a second to tell me what you think. So I'm gonna look at your comments as they come in. Okay, I see both. Slacker says both. Is that Grimsmore says both. You guys are being played by YouTube, says Brian. Okay, I don't know what the fuck that means. Let me see here. James King, Garrett Rudolph, both. I'm seeing a lot of boths in here. A lot of boths. Okay, both or none. Both or none. Okay. Okay, both. Okay, I'm seeing Anthony Evans, both. Dwayne says none. Dr. Watkins is a classic example of white versus black. Yeah, it is. It is mainly because of the way it is a racial issue. Not so much because of the way the players might have felt one way or the other. I don't know their rate. I don't know what's in their heart, but the way the media will see it and the way the public will see it. The image the public saw was a black man assaulting a white man. That's all they saw. That's what's sticking in their head. That scares the shit out of them. That traumatizes them. So that's why they tend to overreact when a black athlete does something out of line. They're like, oh my God, we must make an example out of him. We must teach these gorillas that they don't need to, that this behavior is inappropriate. Oh my God, we must throw the book at him, throw the hammer down, make sure, kill him. That's kind of that lynch mob behavior does come out when they see an incident involving a black man and a white man. All right, so let me give you the results of the poll. The results of the poll are that 75% of the respondents on the poll, which I took the poll on my YouTube platform, 75% said both should be suspended. And that's me. That's where I'm at. I'm like, both of them should be suspended. Maybe. I think Mason Rudolph, I think his penalty should not be as severe as Myles Garrett, because he didn't have to put that helmet upside that guy's head. Like, I felt like he went a little overboard with that, because, I don't know if Rudolph was going to take the helmet and hit the guy with it, but there is a penalty for succeeding in your ass whooping, right? And so maybe part of his spoils of success is that he's going to get suspended for the whole season, whereas Rudolph might get suspended for at least 2-3 games, 1 game, whatever, because he instigated that. In fact, give me a yes or no so we can clarify this. Do you believe that the retaliation would have occurred had the initial reaction not taken place? Do you believe that Myles Garrett would have hit Mason Rudolph in the head with the helmet if Rudolph had not tried to attack him? Do you believe that? Yes or no? Yes or no? That's a loaded question because I know what I want to watch all the no's flow in. There's going to be a ton of no's coming in because we know the deal. We know that this was simply a response. Now, as it wasn't an overreaction, I'll leave that up to you to decide. But, again, you can't, you really just can't determine the consequences of your actions, right? That's why you shouldn't be out here messing with people. So 14% said just Myles Garrett should be suspended. So that's a minority. A minority of the respondents, most of whom are black, because y'all know who I roll with. I roll with black people. The minority, 14% said Myles Garrett only. 3% actually said Mason Rudolph only. And I can understand that logic because he did start everything, right? He caused the reactions, right? Just like I didn't think the guys, well, initially when I thought Myles Garrett was the bad guy, I didn't blame the Steelers players for kicking the shit out of him because that's what I would have did. Like you put a helmet upside the head of my quarterback, I'm gonna really try to hurt you at that point. But when I saw what Rudolph had done initially, then my opinion actually changed. Etan Thomas, my homeboy, actually changed my opinion on this after he showed me that initial video. 7% say neither should be suspended. I don't know how practical that is because you have to do something if you're the league to basically say, stop it. Like, this is not cool. If you behave this way, if you get in these crazy fights, there's going to be a penalty, and you need to know what that penalty is. But I do think that it is a little bit, my final wrap-up point on this is that it's a little bit awkward and contradictory when you're, pumping guys full of steroids, most of whom have significant brain damage from taking hits to the head, put them in the middle of a violent game, and then expect them to only be violent on your terms. Right? You expect them to only be violent between whistles or between the lines. And when they're violent outside the whistles or outside the lines, then suddenly you're acting like all surprised when this happens, when you really have created the violence that has pumped them up full of testosterone and made them want to hurt somebody, right? So I'm not saying that it's okay. I'm just saying that I don't know if I could even follow that. I really don't. If I'm all up in the game and I played football and I remember being so pumped up, that you carry that adrenaline like off the field. Like sometimes the whistle blows, and you're like, no, I still want to hit you in the head one time because I was preparing to do that before the whistle blew, and I can't just stop that just because because some white man in a striped suit said that it's not okay anymore, right? And it makes me think about soldiers. Like I think, honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna tell you honestly, God truth. When I hear about soldiers being tried for things that happen on the battlefield in the fog of war, I'm usually not 100% sure how if the soldiers should always be punished the way people think that they should. Like I think people who don't go to war think that they know what it's like to be in a war. And the thing is, when you're in a war, you might die, and you're in Vietnam or whatever, and you got Vietcong throwing grenades at your ass and taking you out with machine guns. I don't really know if in that situation, if I'm about to die possibly, if I'm going to really give a fuck about following a bunch of fucking rules that were set by a bunch of do-nothing, weak-ass politicians in Washington who would never in a million years send themselves or their family to go fight in this battle. I'm serious. The shout out to the soldiers out here. Shout out to the soldiers. That's one of the reasons why I respect you guys so much because, I just don't know. I think if I'm in the middle of a war, I would do whatever it took to survive. In fact, my dad is like that. My dad told me he went to Vietnam, and he was 17 years old, and he said he that night he slept in a I guess it's a bunker, like he's down and it wasn't like a bed. It was like literally in a ditch. He was sleeping in a ditch, and he heard grenades going off and gunfire in the background. And he said at that moment, he said, I promised myself I would do whatever it took to get out of here. He said, whatever it takes to go home, I will do it, right? Legal or illegal, right? So I'm just trying to say that, like, I think that those of us who are not in the battlefield, whether it's, the actual battlefield where the real soldiers are, where the real veterans are, or a football field where there's a lot of violence that happens and things like that, I think that we should have some empathy for the fact that it's difficult to turn that adrenaline off. And that's what I see, and that's what I believe, and that's why I think the rules should be a little flexible when you're talking about athletes. When they get out here talking about pressing charges and all this shit, I'm like, okay, those are the reactions that you reserve for black people, like this overreaction, like we're going to call the police because this is an assault, sir. It's almost like he came up and punched him in a Starbucks or something. No, this ain't the same thing. You were in the middle of a football game, so sorry that it happened to you, but come on, man, like move on. You're gonna have to move on because people get hit in the head every day when football games take place. All right, so do me a favor, guys. Please hit the thumbs up button, the share button, hit the subscribe button right now. Please hit that thumbs up button. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Also, don't forget, we're having a couple seminars this week. One on or actually this month, one on estate planning, how to form a perfect estate plan for your family. This is the Black Business School. And the second is on how to make money as a government contractor, how to make money as a government contractor. So make sure you subscribe. Actually, subscribe at theblackbusinessschool.com, theblackbusinessschool.com. You can get started for free. You don't need money to begin building your future. You got to build your future because black wealth is our only solution. Building our own is our only solution. You can't wait for white folks to give you reparations because that check probably ain't coming for a long time, and when it comes, it's going to be, they're going to pay you in Wendy's coupons. They're probably not going to give you what you deserve. So you got to have a plan B for Plan Black. Plan Black means get with your family and start building wealth, and go in here and go to the Black Business School. We can get you started for free. And then if you decide to join a program, our programs don't cost, most of them don't cost more on a daily basis than a Popeye's chicken sandwich. So it's better than a college education. It's blacker than a college degree, and it's much, much less expensive. We won't put you in debt, but it will put you ahead. So we won't put you in debt. We will put you ahead. So feel free to go to theblackbusinessschool.com. Talk to one of our specialists. They're on the line right now. That's theblackbusinessschool.com. Go build your future now. And also, when you join, we'll send you emails about these seminars that are coming up, because it will change the trajectory of your family for the next 100 years. All right, that's my pitch. That's what it is. Love you guys. Have a good day. I'll see you soon. Take care. Peace.